Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now after having looked at the Spectrum and Amstrad CPC versions of Space Crusade, now I'm looking at Gremlin Graphics version released for the Commodore 64, the last of the three main 8-bit computers of its epoch. And as you can hear, we got some SID chip assisted music on the go here, and a fairly colourful intro screen. As I said in the other reviews, this is based on the Milton Bradley board game of the same name that came out in 1990. English, I think. There's a link to Games Workshop as well. I know it says Hasbro Bradley up there, but here in the UK it was Milton Bradley. Just got to wait for it to load. Now, one thing that disappointed me about the Amstrad CPC version, apart from it being a bit slow when it came to moving characters around, is that the lack of colour was a bit disappointing, and that the 3D isometric view for action sequences looked to me like suspiciously like a Spectrum port. So I'm hoping that the Commodore 64 version doesn't have this problem. I think I'll be the Imperial Fists again. Set up. Pick that one again because that worked out quite well when I was reviewing the Amstrad version. Yeah, I'll pick the Power Sword and Power Glove for the Commander again. Yeah, that'll do. I've got targeters on plasma gun and missile launcher. And I'll keep this as it is. I always like to have just one bolter character and the other three being heavy weapons, because quite frankly, as I've said in the reviews of the other two versions, even in the original board game, the bolter is absolute crap. Select mission. I think I'll stick with the Seek and Destroy that I did in the other two versions. So I've just got to destroy a Dreadnought, and as with this EPC version, I've got to get at least 80 points in order to properly succeed in the mission. I mean, if I remember correctly, I got 86 points when I was reviewing the CPC version, although unfortunately all five of my faction members met their maker. Now just got to wait for it to load. Well, this is already looking a lot more colourful than the Amstrad CPC version. I don't mention colour too much in Spectrum versions because of its limited colour capabilities, which anyone who's familiar with Spectrum will know exactly what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, it seems as if movement is even slower than on the Amstrad CPC version. This is a C64, that's a bit unacceptable. Right. So I seem to have found the three blips there. I know from the experiences of the other two versions that those are going to be a set of rocks. Oh God, this is so slow. I mean, it's not like it's zinging around 3D graphics or anything. Why does it have to be that slow? But whatever happens, on my first go, I must get all 5 men out of the airlock, because otherwise the people I don't get out before then will be permanently stuck in there. I'll be totally unable to use them. I expect that's probably a bug. Oh, God. It comes to something when a game based on a board game is as slow as this. Clunk, 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 clunk. Dear God. Well, all five of them have moved, so... Right. As in the other versions, I've got a limited number of turns to succeed in my mission. Weapon jammed. Who, though? I wish it would tell me which one got affected. I mean, all 5 of them are on screen and none of the 5 looked any different. The only thing way I'll really know who's been affected is whether or not the ability to shoot that particular gun is ghosted or not. It should give an indication of who got affected by that weapons jammed event card that the alien CPU player's just done. That sound of the door opening is a bit twee. Oh dear. It's so slow. Well, at least it's got proper colours of the white and red dice in this version. Oh, Spectrum port or what? Look at that. Again, even the Commodore 64 version is being subject to Spectrum port. Why? The Commodore 64 it can do some really nice colourful graphics, albeit perhaps a little bit on the blocky side. Mind you, thinking about it, even these graphics seeing on the overhead views are suspiciously like colorized versions of the Spectrum graphics. I wouldn't say the sound effects they've chosen are particularly great. You need something a bit meatier than that when something blows up. Chomp, 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 chomp. Goodness me, and it takes nearly 10 seconds to just move a character. Oh, now I know who's been affected. I still think it should have told me that before I actually done it, because that... Well, if the weapon's jammed, why hasn't it ghosted the fire icon? That's ridiculous. That's bad design. And of course, this guy's gonna crawl his way. Look at that. Yeah, thinking about it, I think even this is to a certain extent a Spectrum port, this overhead view. I mean, they may have added colour to things like the the walls and the like, but those sprites do look very like they've been taken from the Spectrum version. I really don't know why they would do that. It just seems very silly. Not to mention an insult to people who bought a Commodore 64, which from what I can make out of the three main 8-bit computers, the Spectrum, the C64, and the Amstrad CPC, the C64 was the most expensive of three, and it's getting Spectrum ports. Out of ammo. Oh, bloody hell, so pick on someone else. So I can't fire that gun with him this turn either. Bastard. Oh, dearie me. Commander. Oh, God. I could fall asleep watching these guys walking because it's so slow. Oh, I'm actually being able to close and open doors in this version. I couldn't in the CPC version. I don't think I ever saw that icon not ghosted. Okay, we've got a couple of blips there. Two. Bear in mind, it's very rare to get a 2 with a white die, because the sides of the white dice, or the light weapons dice, are 6-sided. Each light weapons die is a 6-sided die with the numbers 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2. And the red dice, the heavy weapons dice, each die has 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, God. You know it comes to something when a board game based computer game it runs as slow as this. There's no need for it to run this slowly. It's just sloppy programming. Of course, I can't fire with this guy either because his bloody gun's jammed. Ridiculous. 5. I think those 2 rocks are destroyed. Yeah, I didn't need to re-roll. Oh, God, that Spectrum port graphics. What an insult. Oh, this is so slow. Oh, bloody hell. The out of ammo's turned that guy's Norcross's missile launcher into a freaking bolter. You absolute git. That's put. So now I've got two guys with bolters anyway. You bugger. Secondary mission, destroy lone android on board. I had exactly the same secondary mission in the when reviewing the CPC version. Oh, goodness me. I'm just absolutely aghast at how slow this is. Bluh, 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 bluh. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, God. I can't believe that bastard alien player took his missile launcher. Oh, it's a Gretchen. As long as I get above 0 with this, it will kill him. Yes, damn it. As I said, doing that with a bolter is no mean feat. Right, zoom back over to this part of the map to control the other 3. Oh, goodness me. Even selecting an action is slow. Stevens, he was the original bolter guy. Oh, goodness. "20 minutes I've been playing. I've only had 4 turns, all because it's so slow." Oh dear. Oh, that's all right. I was all right as long as that wasn't a 3. Is that the android? I think it is. Oh, come on. It still seems to have the same AI issues. That one's trying to go through that wall. Oh, goodness me. He's going to go hand to hand, isn't he? What? You've already moved, you bastard. Orc. 2. No, you're going to die. 2 versus 5. Right, click back over here and see if that is the android. Oh, shite, no. I take it back then. The reason that seems to move again is because when a blip is just a blip, it can only move 5. But the moment it became a soul sucker, which was called a gene stealer in the original board game, it had another few squares it was permitted to move, because gene stealers / soul suckers can move up to 8 squares, so you can't outrun them. And you really don't want to go hand to hand with them with anyone other than your commander, because it's 2 red dice, whereas Marines are only 2 white dice, so the chances of you actually defeating a soul sucker in hand-to-hand combat is extremely slight. So of course I'm gonna do the honourable thing with this thing and run like hell. Because I really don't want to be up again. Actually, can I shoot him from there, or is he out? Just out? Yeah, I can just get line of sight to him. No. Say naught is very common with a bolter, unfortunately, because of the dice that are used. I think from what I remember, gene stealers / soul suckers have an armor value of 3. Which would mean I'd have to roll more than 3 in order to shoot it dead. I'm going to move that as far back to the right as I can, but keep it on that row so that it'll be in line to shoot it with the plasma gun. As I've said in the reviews of the other 2 versions, there is no limit to how far you can shoot with the weapons. Oh, I think I'm going to re-roll one of those. You bastard. And watch as this guy ambles all the way across the room. Come on, a kid can crawl faster than that. Oh, God. I know I keep banging on about it, but when it goes this slowly, it's just so tedious. I mean, it's not like the Commodore couldn't handle it. I get the feeling it's this slow due to being partially a Spectrum port. I just can't think of any other reason why a game based on a board game would have this kind of an issue on a Commodore 64. What's that? Oh, it's an orc. Why is it red? Why is that red? Orcs should be green. Can I shoot him with this guy? Just. Yes, I've just had to get more than one. And 2 is more than 1. Right, I've moved everyone now. So I'm just going to pick this guy and do a scan. I really have mixed feelings about the sound effects in this. I'm sure they could have picked something a lot more interesting than what they have. They just seem really limp. Oh, goodness me. Well, that's definitely not a rock. And why does there have to be such a huge pause between one alien moving and the next? See, look at that pause. That was about 8 or 9 seconds pause between that blip and this soul sucker moving. It's ridiculous. Move that there. Ugh. This is painful to watch. I mean, honestly, you'd think these guys were carrying the whole weight of the world on their shoulders, how slow they walk. I don't know why they put these rocks into this game. I mean, there were never any rocks in the original board game. What's this? An orc. Orcs are not meant to be red. Dear, now I've got to watch as this guy trudges along as if he's in treacle. Come on, Roberts, move it. Can I see any of those? You wanker. You absolute, complete and utter prick. Now I'll try and do this with a bloody bolter. Oh, God, as soon as he gets out second and gets in position. I mean, look at that. Oh, it's letting me, I can trace line of sight to that. I definitely wouldn't have been able to trace line of sight between that commander and the rock in the board game because of the rules about line of sight and diagonals. Naught is not really that surprising with a bolter, if the truth be told. So, God. Okay, just these guys with their wonderful guest in the form of a soul sucker to worry about. Right, luckily that soul sucker's already in line with this plasma gun guy. Question is, will I be able to kill him? Because if not, then I very much doubt that one of these guys is going to get out alive. Yee. Yes. Bye-bye. I needed to get more than 3 and I got 4, so that was just what I needed. As Benjamin Orr once sung about. Ugh. So pity you can't walk as well as you can as you just shot, Mr. Bell. dearie me. Oh, this is so painful. Everyone's moved now, so is that the android? And the AI is being stupid again, going back into a room that's a complete dead end. Oh God, enough of the damn pauses. Why are you going over there? The AI in all three of these versions is really quite bad at times. They only seem to have much going on between the ears whenever there's actually a space marine or commander in line of sight. Otherwise their AI just goes goolally. Chaos Commander. Yeah, dead. At least that wasn't the android. 2, not enough. Oh no, 2. Neither of us has won. We both got the same, so neither one died. Right. No, you got... Actually, no, I'll move this bolter guy first. If something, I hate to say it, but if something's bad's going to happen, I'd rather it happen to him first because bolters are shite. Look at that. I'm honestly... Pains me to say, but I think even Double Dragon 3 on the Amstrad CPC was not that much slower than this. One thing this version has over the others is that the ability to produce different colours means that, from what I recall, this is the only one in which Marines and aliens are different colours on the map screen on the right. I mean, the Spectrum obviously couldn't have different colours because of its attribute limitations, but even the Amstrad, which could have done, had monochrome map issues, which is a bit silly, really. But there you go. Right, let's see if I can take on this orc. Hang on, before I do, I'm going to see what that actually is. Oh, it's a Gretchen. An orc's a bit more dangerous than a Gretchen, so I'll take out 3. He's dead. And I might even see what that blip is. Another orc. Right. Why are these orcs different colours? I don't understand. Why is that orc there red and the other, and those other ones are purple? Hang on. Oh, I see. The purple ones are Gretchens. Okay, purple ones are Gretchens, the red ones are Orcs. Okay, I take that back. I apologise profusely. Ugh. Useless Burke. Sorry, Stevens, but if you're going to have the worst weapon, then there's not really an awful lot I can recommend about you. You're little more than scout fodder. Ugh, God, move faster! I'm hoping I can get a decent roll with this, because then I'll be able to spread it and perhaps wipe out all 3 of these things. A roll of 3 or 4 or more would be absolutely perfect. Oh, you penis. After all that, I'm going to launch into action and then completely throw a 0. Duh. Great. 3 blips in there. That's nice. Has everyone moved? I think they have. See, this is what happens. Everything's so slow that I can't remember who's moved and who hasn't. Yeah, they all moved, so because their movement icons ghosted whenever I click on them one by one. Android fault. Mind you, there's no Android visible, so I think I'm going to be all right there. Oh, God. Look how slow that is. I mean, that's surely no more painful than a cursor going across the screen as you type in it. Again, they're doing all sorts of random shizzle. Oh, dear me. I'd laugh if that was the Android. Or it could be. Mind you, so could that. Oh, dear me. This takes so long when everything's so slow. Oh, crime and entry. No chance. Bye-bye, Gretchen. Your 2 versus my 4. 0. 1. Hi. Actually, I shouldn't get smug because an orc can't do any better than at hand-to-hand combat than a marine. So both are 2 white dice. 2. 5. I win. Bye-bye. As I've said in the other reviews, when it comes to hand, you, in order to win, you just have to roll more in number and total than them. Armor value doesn't come into it. Well, for hand to hand, it's just a case of whoever gets the highest roll with the dice available to them. because in that case the attacker rolled 2 and I rolled 5. He died. Right. Onward march. What is that? Is that an android? No, it's a Chaos Marine with a missile launcher. I know it says heavy weapon, but I know from the board game that that's a missile launcher. And I'm about to find out what that... Could that be the Dreadnought? I mean, this is the room where I found the Dreadnought too. Yes. I'll take on this guy. He's only going to be 2 white dice for hand to hand. 5. 0. Just slightly beat him. Yeah, I definitely wanted to kill him because his missile launcher could have potentially taken out both of my Marines there while they're stood together like that. Right. Come on, Roberts. Do your stuff. And don't you dare roll a 0 on that Dreadnought or I will scream. I should be able to see the Dreadnought and trace a line of sight to it from there. And I can't. That's just dandy, isn't it? It's just slightly out of line of sight. That isn't ideal. No, it's not going to let me shoot it from there. Bastard. Okay, we'll just do something with you. I don't think I'm going to even attempt to take on the Dreadnought with the bolter because that's simply asking for trouble. Got more chance of seeing the Virgin Mary than he has of actually dealing damage to a Dreadnought with a bolter. It's just so slow. Oh, God, now I've got to wait for this guy to slug his way along the corridor. Now that blip will have been uncovered. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Got a bloody onslaught here. So we got Chaos Marine, Gretchen, and there's the android. Luckily, it is possible to outrun them. From what I can remember, they can only move for From what I remember, they can only move 4. No, that's not high enough. I need to get more than that for an android. God. It's just so slow. I think all 5 of my men have moved now. He has. So has he, and he, and he, and he. Yeah, so end my turn. This is so slow. I'm just absolutely distraught. No, you're not going to do anything on my... Can I really not see line of sight to that? Oh, here we go. Naught. Sorry, you need to get 3 or more to harm any of my people. Oh, you're not going to use your other weapons? The Dreadnought actually has 2 heavy weapons. I'm surprised it didn't fire the other one. Oh, this takes so long when it's so slow. I really wish I still had my missile launcher for that guy, because that would have been ideal for how they're bunched up like this. I could have wiped that whole slew of them in one go. Naught. 3. Gretchen's dead. 2, 3. I've harmed the Dreadnought. It's lost one of its heavy weapons. Suicide android. That explains why that event card wasn't done at the beginning of the turn. But the trouble is, he wasted it. He wasted that because it was too far away to actually harm any of my team. Well, please don't roll 0. Please. 4. 3. I've harmed him again. The Dreadnought has now lost both of its heavy weapons. Now that it's edged forward, he should be in line of sight for this, for Roberts to have a pop at it. 4. Is that enough, though? Well, refire then. Why isn't that working? I don't know why, but that isn't working. I think I'm gonna make this guy back off. I don't know why that refire thing wasn't working. Now I'm starting to worry that he might not have even scratched the Dreadnought, even though strictly speaking he should have done, because I'm sure he. Because I'm sure that. Actually, maybe 4 isn't enough. Because I think that the Dreadnought's armor value is 4, and I only rolled 4. I'm just trying to remember, see what I can remember from the. Chaos Marine. I can't fire them. Just let me fire. It's not letting me fire. I hope he hasn't glitched, because because that's going to be majorly irritating if it has. Right, nothing in that room. I would have seen it by now if there were. Now maybe it'll let me fire. You useless Burke. I think I'm going to back this guy off because I know there's only a Gretchen there, but there are other things in there which could probably give chase if I hang around. So that should do it. This is absolutely ridiculous how slow it is. Three. No one's harmed the other. Yeah, they can only move 6 tops. Just like the main Marines can only. Oh God, here we go. Oh, enough of the pauses. I've got the blooming whole Chaos Marine army coming after me by the looks of things. No chance. I really don't want to lose hand-to-hand to a Gretchen. I really don't, because that would be the ultimate humiliation. Right. Hopefully I can make this 3, 4. Bugger. My commander's lost a health point. Okay. I'm hoping I'll still be able to get line of sight with Robert's assault cannon to that dreadnought from where I'm about to go. I'm definitely not going into that room, because otherwise the dreadnought could get me and enter in hand-to-hand combat with me, and the chances of a regular Marine surviving against a dreadnought is extremely slim. 2. No. Oh, God. That refire thing really doesn't work very well. Well, I'm not going in that room. I don't particularly want to distract that dreadnought. Oh, shite. May as well have a pop at one of these. This one as it's closer. 1. That's enough to kill it. Gretchens, you only have to roll more than 0. Because that 0 is their armor value. I've already moved him. Just these 2 brains left now. I really wish it would actually move to the person when I click on the face down here, because it's not very helpful. I only know that this is that person because it's actually turned white, which is another improvement over the other 2 versions, which stayed the same colour as normal. They've got Orc, Chaos Marine, and another Chaos Marine and a Gretchen. Nah, 1. Bit optimistic, wouldn't it? I very much doubt that Norcross is going to last long. But either way, I'm not leaving him in there. Oh, goodness me, this is so slow. The only guy left to move now is this guy. Oh, God alive. Nothing left to do now. I can't fire at anything. There's nothing to fire at with him. 30 turns left. Come on, I just want to beat this blooming dreadnought and then I can mech assault. I don't think that's going to have any bearings because there are no androids. Yeah, I don't know whether it affects the dreadnought as well. 3, 4. Yes, you beauty! I've succeeded in the primary mission. Now all I've got to do is get as many of my men back to the airlock as I possibly can. Oh dear me. So now the basic board of call is run like hell. Oh God. Oh dearie me, hurry up. Gretchen. 0. 2, he's dead. Gretchen's only roll 1 light weapons die when doing hand-to-hand. 0. Defense. 0. Neither harm the other. 0. 0. So both survive. 0. 0. So again, both survive. Right. Well, since he's already been nice enough to line himself up with me, I may as well have a pop at this guy. I'll re-roll that one to see if I can get some. Yes, he's dead. Just had to roll more than 2 and I rolled 5. I'm so glad I put a targeter on that plasma gun. Now I'm just got to... Now we're in evac mode. I'm just running, basically running the hell back to the airlock with as many of the men as I can. Right, what should I fire at? Orc. Gretchen. I think I'd better have a go at this, firing at this Chaos Marine. Because that's the most dangerous thing out of all of these. 2. That's not enough, it has to be more than 2. It is possible to roll more than 2 with a bolter, but it's unlikely because it has to be 2-1 or 2-2. And as I said earlier, the sides of light weapons die are 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2. So it's quite comparatively rare to be able to roll enough to get more than 2 with. Run, 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 run. Oh, God. So cumbersome. Look at this, it's ridiculous. Right. Fire. I don't think I want to risk going hand to hand even with a Gretchen. 2, he's dead. I may as well walk through that room now. We know there's nothing in it because no blips showed up. Because my commander was in that room, there would have been some other blips beside the dreadnought had there been. I think everyone's moved now. Yes, 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 and yes. So end my turn. So now I've got 29 turns left to try and get any or all of my men back into the airlock. Enough of the pauses. That's my bolter guy there. I tell you what, if he survives this onslaught, it'll be a miracle. I mean, I'm surprised that any of my men have lasted this long, given that I've got the 2 of them are armed with pathetic bolters. Okay, why are you going that way? My men are up there. Help out your teammates. Like you're supposed to. Be intelligent. See, it's just a shame that all 3 of these ports have some slightly iffy AI for the CPU control opponent. Right, I won that because I rolled 1, he rolled 0. God. Naught. 2. I win that, so he's going to die. That Gretchen's a goner. Because he rolled 0 and I rolled 2. So I rolled a higher, so he died. Right. We're in evac mode, as I said, so basically priority, get as many of these men to the airlock. I'm just really sorry for everyone watching this video that's going to take so long because of how slow this particular version of the game is. I mean, it's really such a shame that it's this slow. It really didn't need to be. Oh God. I mean, you're in evac mode. Get a wriggle on. I may as well have a go at this with a bolter. 1. Yes, that's done it. Gretchen's only need to get above 0. Now run. I know you can't run, but try anyway. Oh, dearie me. I tell you what, if by some miracle all 5 of my men make it back to the airlock, I will be so chuffed. Well, unless something really dumb happens, I should get at least one of them back to the airlock. I mean, the android blew himself up, so that's a secondary mission done and dusted, and hopefully I'm hoping it'll let me have that, even though I wasn't the one that destroyed the android. It destroyed itself because it that's nice, running away. I think that this guy's going to make it to the airlock first. In all fairness, because he's got the most direct route, and he was the least the least far away from it. I may as well have a pop, even though it's very unlikely that Norcross was going to harm this thing. 1, no good. For a Chaos Marine, it has. Oh no, oh, it's a Gretchen. Sorry, I thought it was a Chaos Marine. I'm getting all my colours muddled up. Well, that makes it a bit easier. So now Norcross can concentrate on evacuating, or even evacu-9ing or evacu-10ing. Oh dear me, so slow. Oh, blimmin' hell. Look at that. Come on, Commander. No, I just got to. Now it's just this guy down here. I wonder if you actually get points for destroying those rocks. It's hard to tell because I know you get points for destroying the different aliens, but because it says on the blip tokens in the original board game, but because the rocks are unique to this computerized version and were never in the board game, I don't know if you actually get any points for destroying them as well. May as well have a pop. No, you useless Burke. I'm not even going to bother with that scan anymore because I don't really want to risk any more blips showing up. One thing it does seem to be missing from this computer, these computer versions that was a feature in the original board game, is that the alien player could call in reinforcements. It's a separate stash of tokens, and what kind of aliens they would be differed depending on the mission. I mean, the equivalent mission in to this in the original board game, I believe the reinforcement tokens would only have been Gretchens and Orcs, at least for a small number of human players. Because there were the alien player was entitled to differing numbers of reinforcement tokens, and sometimes different types depending on not only the mission being done, but how many marine players there were. Dear me. I think I am going to have to. I think the speed at which this runs, or rather crawls, it is going to have an impact on the final score. Out of the 3 8-bit computer versions I've reviewed, this is without a doubt the slowest. The Spectrum version was the fastest. I mean, the Amstrad version, the CPC version, was slightly slower than the Spectrum version, but not a huge amount, so it was a bit more bearable. But this is just an abomination in terms of speed. Booby trap. Who was that? That's so far that's the only. The booby trap was a missile launcher attack on one square, and it works exactly the same as a regular missile launcher, and because the square that was aimed at had a total of 5, and my team only have an armor value of 2 each. Obviously, that was way over. So sadly, I'm not going to get all from. Oh, that was that. Oh, that was my original guy that had the bolter. Not the one who originally had a missile launcher that got turned into the bolter with that out of ammo, or the one that the one that had a bolter right from the get-go. Ugh, goodness gracious. From what I recall of the board game, I think that's Booby Trap. There's only one in the pack of Alien Event cards, so presumably that means that there can't be any more Booby Traps. Move. Into the airlock you go, Private Bell. Right, that's him safely in. Now we'll get Norcross. He was the one that originally had the missile launcher. So notice that Bell's icon in the bottom right corner is now ghosted. He's in the airlock. He's safe. Nothing can get to him now. I think both of these guys have moved, haven't they? Yes. And yes. It's so easy to forget because it's so slow. Right, didn't want to do anything. Not even with that one. Why didn't you move that? I mean, he could have tried attacking me with that one, but he didn't. For some strange reason, he decided to move it in completely the opposite direction. Ugh, move it. Goodness me. I've seen sloths go faster than this. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's such a shame I didn't manage to get all 5 of them into the airlock. I should be able to get Norcross into the airlock with this next move, though. I can't go into that far uppermost square because you haven't got enough movement points. So that's 2 men I've managed to successfully evac to the airlock. As I said in my other reviews, every time you lose a Marine player, you lose either 5 points if it was a Marine player armed with a bolter, 10 points if you lose your commander or a Marine player armed with a heavy weapon. Luckily, I'll only lose 5 for that Marine player I lost because he was only armed with a bolter. Actually, I think I'm going to move this guy first because he's furthest away. Now just this guy left. That, as they say, is that. So now I'm in a position to give my verdict on the Commodore 64 version. Graphics, although they've made some, they're more colourful than the other versions. There's still noticeable aspects that are clearly lifted from the Spectrum version. I've been awarded some honour badges. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, you actually get if you manage to do well like that, you can actually use that code to effectively be able to continue continue with those sort of promotions. From what I recall, although I never actually used that as it was optional in the board game, you could actually use that to help give you an advantage in future missions. The only thing I don't like about that typeface is that you have to be very careful. See that there's a B and an 8 the B is the third character in, and the 8, that one at the far right, is actually an 8. It would be interesting to know if that code is cross-compatible across the other platforms I've reviewed. I might be tempted to try that. So, as you can see, it shows my score at the very bottom. I more than exceeded the 80 required, and I killed 28 things. I don't know whether that kill includes the android, because that was a self-destruct. But it does show that I didn't manage to do the secondary mission because it was a self-destruct. I didn't destroy the android. The enemy player did a suicide thing with it, and because it wasn't next to any of my Marine players when he did it, it was in vain. But that score would have included the 30 points for successfully completing the primary mission. So anyway, back to the actual verdicts thing. As I said, the graphics, while they're the most colourful out of the three, it's still let down by the fact that there's some noticeable Spectrum port aspects to it, such as the actual characters themselves, and especially those 3D isometric viewpoints for whenever either an enemy or a Marine dies, and that really is such a shame. It would have been nice to have seen what the CPC and Commodore 64 versions could have been like if they'd actually been done entirely from scratch and made better use of their respective machines' capabilities. Sound, I actually preferred the sound in the CPC version, unfortunately. I can't really tell with the Spectrum 128K version because, as I said in the review of that 48K Spectrum version I did, the 128K version kept glitching and it made it impossible to see what was going on. But out of the 3 versions I've reviewed, I think I've just about preferred the sound in the CPC version. The sound effects in this just didn't really do anything for me and were a bit too twee. I'm sure they could have picked better than that with the SID chip in it, which is a marvelous sound capabilities connected with it. So it just seems a bit sad that it didn't make best use of the audio hardware of the Commodore 64. Gameplay. It suffers more by the fact that it's so slow. And that is unfortunately going to have quite an impact on the score. Not because it makes the game any less fair, but more to the point that a game can simply take way too long because it's so slow. And some of those pauses with the enemy AI deciding what to do next. I mean, there are points where it's taking nearly 10 seconds between moving one alien and another. That is ridiculous. So I'm going to give the Commodore 64 version Space Crusade 6 out of 10. Unfortunately, the fact that you can be kept waiting so long and the game generally running really slowly counts against it quite badly. This has been the longest review of the 3 because it's so slow. I mean, it's taken nearly 90 minutes just to do this review, which is definitely longer in terms of how far I managed to get in the mission in each case. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. I'm sorry it's a bit of a long one, but Space Crusade is such an involved game. I honestly think that it merits it, and I level that apology to the other 2 versions I've reviewed previously as well. Hope you've enjoyed looking at these 3 ports of the board game Space Crusade. All things considered, Gremlin Graphics did a pretty good job. I mean, I still think that in terms of involvement, the board game is slightly better and a bit more tense, but by and large, these ports are still pretty good. So hope to catch you on another video again soon. Texie88 out.